Hey guys, it's Steve with My Honey's Handmade. Today in the shop we're going to make my first ever coffin shelf. This is about 62 inches tall, so plans are available. Let me know if you've ever made one. Comment below if you've ever made a shelf and if you've ever made a coffin shelf. This is 3.5 inches deep, so stick around. Please like and subscribe. One thing I did was create the bottom angles were 6 degrees, the top angles were 10 degrees. So I actually have a 4x8 outfeed table and I had a piece of cardboard, so I traced it out based on the height and the width the customer wanted. I think this one was right at 28 to 30 inches wide and 62 inches tall. Hey guys, I appreciate it if you like the video and share it. And so I'm just laying everything out and labeling my parts and marking in the comments the cut and the direction put of where you're located. I cut these 6 and 10 degrees, Oklahoma. Thanks. I used the Craig jig for most of this, but you could use brad nails or screws, whatever you need. I thought screws were overkill for some of this since I'm putting on a 1/4 inch backer piece, which will really stiffen and strengthen this up. If I would plan this out better, I would have done the Craig holes previously. But hey, sometimes you got to roll with it and do what you need to do. One of the harder things on the project was figuring out how to clamp this upper. This is the 10 degree and 10 degree. And figuring out how to clamp it so I could actually screw in the Craig screws. I tried it on a test piece and it was way off. So this is what I came up with. These are both 10 degree clamping blocks or angles. And then I had some scrap 4x4. I cut at the same 10 degrees. And that really worked. Did great. Let me know if you've ever tried this. I haven't clamped a lot of angles before. All right, guys, we're calling it a night. I got the top on. I should have cut the angles. I should have cut or put a straight edge on that angle first. But since it's being painted, that was good for me. So I put some glue on it, did some brad nails. And then in the morning, we're gonna do some shelves. So we'll let that dry overnight. Next day, and here's what we have. Next step is to sand the inside. And we're gonna start cutting shelves. You see I lined it up on my marks again. This gives me about a 12-inch spacing for the shelves. So we're gonna start cutting those. And it's the same thing below this angle. This angle is 10 degrees here and here. So when you cut these, you just get your distance or your width and put a 6 degree for this shelf and this shelf, and then this one would be 10 degrees. So let's see what that looks like. Hey guys, so here's my first one. I put some Craig holes in the bottom of it, and my length is right around 21 inches, and each has a 6 degree flaring off. What I also did was create this spacer, and it has the 6 degree. They're not parallel, so 6 degree here, 6 degree here, so that I can put it here and create a spacer. That helps me clamp it all while I screw it in. Hey guys, one thing you'll notice in my videos, I wear my protective equipment the majority of the time in the shop. Whether that's eye protection, ear protection, or if I've done a cut recently, I'm going to be wearing a respirator. So let me know your favorite piece of protective equipment in your shop. I'm also clamping it side to side, so when I screw it in, there's a reduced chance of it moving on me. Because pocket holes like to move. That's what we've got. Let's switch sides and do it again. I use spacers a lot in a lot of my builds out of scrap wood. You don't have to measure after you get the initial cut, and they're consistent. Plus it helps for a clamping block so it doesn't move on you. Yep, so we're in luck there. So use the same spacer, and let's see if you can see that. So we're going to use the same spacer because they're both 6 degrees. We're going to make a mark. On both sides. Then that's where you can measure. For me, I'm at 23 and about 5/8. So I'm going to go a little long and sneak up on the cut, because these 1x4s are not perfect. So I would sneak up on the cut, make it long, and then sneak up on it. Now this is that 10-degree angle. I didn't use Craig holes because it was right at the joint. So I'm just going to glue this in. This Titebond Quick and Thick works really well. Same thing, sneak up on the cut, start long, and then, just tack it in with a nailer. That's plenty strong enough. The glue and the brad nails are going to be plenty strong enough, especially with the backer. All right, one of the last steps is to install to sand it and then install the 1/4-inch plywood backer. I had this piece of 1/4-inch red oak plywood from a previous project. So I just trace it out, cut it with the jigsaw, and I'm not trying to cut perfect with the jigsaw, I'm cutting outside the line. Then I'm going to come back and flush trim it with my Ryobi trim router. A lot of times that's going to get you much more exact than trying to cut it perfectly.
Alright guys, so the coffin backer, it's 1/4-inch red oak, is cut out. We also have all these holes here. We have the Craig holes we left on the outside. We've got those filled. So the next step after this dries, these are pretty deep, so those will take over an hour. It might be white on the outside, but I wouldn't rush it. I'd let it dry at least an hour, maybe more. So this will get a final sanding. This will get attached, tack on with, I'll put staples on. Those hold really well. Actually, I got to fill a few cracks there, or holes, whatever, voids. So that's the next step.
Now here I'm just getting the cross pieces for the shelves and marking it on both sides and running a straight edge so that I can add a staple along that area. That's really going to strengthen this and tie the shelves to the back. It's always good when you don't have any nails or staples sticking out. That's what I'm feeling for along the edges to make sure I don't have any poking through. Alright, that pretty much wraps this project up. I appreciate you following along. Please like and subscribe.